Hi, I'm Susie from out west Homestead. Thank you for coming by. Y'all see I don't have my cap on. Usually I wear my cap because my hair is such a mess. And I don't worry about it. Anyway, I want to talk about western New Mexico. The western side is still, kind of like wild country. There's lots of land over there to go hiking. Now, I want to say about, it's been a few years ago, but this man from El Paso, Texas, during the winter, he come up and he was wanting to do some hiking over in the western mountains. And he wasn't too prepared because he come up with t-shirt and shorts. I think it was around December the 12th. And we have nice days in the winter. But in El Paso, if he left his house, he probably had it was probably really warm there. And, a lot of people don't realize the hiking out here is wild. And you might not ever see a person on the trail. So, he parked at a parking area and it had bathrooms and look off. It was a real pretty place where he parked. And you could see way out in the desert, foothills. It was real pretty, the place he parked. But the parking spot right across the highway from it was the trailhead. And he did have a gun with him, and I think maybe a backpack. I'm not sure. But he brought his dog up. He had a dog, I think it was either lab or part lab, and the dog's name was Zulu. The story is about him and Zulu. So, the mountains, I think the Indian called them Diablo or something, or the Spanish, one or the other, because they're kind of rugged, dark mountains. And I think it was like people want to stay away from them. But there is water over there, more water over there than is here. And we like that about that area. And we like it because there's less people and it's more wild area. So he went hiking. I don't know why he got lost. I've seen the trail. We hadn't hiked the trail, but I've seen it, and it looked like a fair trail, but he got lost, and he was out there for 6 nights. And, it's wintertime, and in the mountains, it's going to be really cold. You might have a 70-degree weather up in the mountains here or over there, but at night it just gets down cold. So what he did, he put Zulu on top of his body, and had Zulu sleep on top of him to keep him warm. And there's the mountains he went in there over to hike. There's trails and there's old roads back in there. I don't know if they're logging roads or mining roads, but you can see that there's a lot of roads in there. So people was out looking for him because he didn't show back up in Texas. And they found his car, up there on that parking spot. So I think they said he was 68, I think. He could have been 58, but he was 58 or 68. So he wandered through them woods, and they're rugged. They're up and down and rough country. And I don't know, but I don't know if he knew the area. But anyway, off he went, and him and that dog was out there wandering around. He probably found roads and trails Well, I know he finally found a road. Uh, Bill likes to look at real estate over there. And, well, about anywhere in New Mexico, Bill just likes to look at property, just look at it. But there was this one place, this lost hiker, he ended up at this cabin. And that cabin was up for sale, so me and Bill, we knew the pictures of the cabin inside and out. Because there was pictures of that cabin. It was just a one room, about the size of our back porch. It was just a one room cabin. And so he made it up to that cabin, you know, after sleeping outside for 6 days. And we kind of tracked his journey, what we could tell on Google, where the trailhead started and the road's going up that way, how he probably hooked onto it, and then a road went through the mountains and it went around, and then it ended up by that cabin, because that particular piece of property is an older property, been there a long time, and there's roads going into it different places. So that's where he ended up. Well, he had his gun. He was trying to get into that cabin, but they had a lock on it because the owner said they had a lot of break-ins, people come in there, because they always kept it, you know, stocked for food. So when they go, the owners go up to that cabin, they always had food in there. So he took his gun and he shut the lock off the door. And so he went in there, and I don't know if he ate or what, but he was cold. And they had the firewood in there, a little, you know, little stove. And he couldn't find no matches. Well, the owner said they were in a can or something. They didn't just have matches laying out, they just had some in a can, and he didn't find them. I think he was pretty bad off by that, you know, the next day there, which would have been his 7th day. And so what he did, the sun was, you know, getting warm next to the building, so he laid, you know, he was on the ground, but he laid by the building, and he was about gone, I guess, the way they talked. So he had that dog on him, trying to warm him up. So the people, there were some people that had cows in that place, because I think it was 700 acres they had. And so they come up on horseback, these ranchers, and they seen him laying there with that dog on top of him. And the dog seen them and ran off. So they went to get help, and the guy went to the hospital. The dog wouldn't come to him. He just took off in the woods. So I think the man, he went back to El Paso to the hospital there, and went back home. That guy worried so much about his dog. He got better, and he come back looking for that dog, and he couldn't find it. And the people around that area, they was looking for it too, because they knew, you know, he saved that man's life getting on top of him. So everybody knew that black dog was around there. So anyway, the guy put out a big reward for that dog, and nobody never did find him. Bill think probably coyotes probably got him, or something like that. I feel like maybe hunters or somebody shot him, because a lot of people don't put up with stray dogs, and they'll shoot the dog. And if they did shoot the dog, they're not going to say. But they never did find that dog. And I think what probably happened, because, you know, that's usually how dogs are. He probably seen that guy get loaded up in a car or truck or something, and off he went. So that dog probably followed that truck. And it's Cheryl just probably 7 miles back in there before you get to the highway, maybe farther. So I'll bet you that dog followed that truck that smelled that guy, because you know dogs got good sniffers. If he did, he might have got to the highway and didn't know what to do. But that's what I would think a dog would do, follow the owner. So they never did find that dog. I really feel sorry for the guy, you know, losing his dog on that hiking trip. But people, they do come out, and we've seen them up in these mountains. They're not prepared. They don't know about the wildlife, and they get lost. And we picked up a few lost people. We picked up hunters, lost people, give them rides, and so they, you know, you got to think about the West lands. It's like stepping back into the 1800s. Well, there's everything out there. Most of them want to eat you. You just have to be careful. But you can't just walk down the trail and not realize your surroundings. You got to know. It really helps to know that stuff. Water. He might have had water with him. He might have had a backpack because he lasted 6 nights there. But there was water in that area, so he could find creeks pretty easy, I think. But I really feel sorry for him losing that dog. But nobody, I never heard no more reports on Zulu. We don't know, you know, I couldn't tell you what happened to that dog. But even hunters will get turned around. One time we were out in these mountains coming down this back way, and there was a hunter, and he had all his hunting gear on, and he got turned around. And he said, well, so-and-so place is where I left my truck. Could you take me there? And we did. He said, I just got turned around. He was one way, and then before you knew it, he was back this way. And it's easy to get lost in the woods. You just really have to know your way. Me and Bill, we've always been lucky not get lost. And we pretty well know where all the highways are, you know, up in the mountains. So if we did get turned around, we know which direction the highway is, and our road. But some people, they'll start at a hiking trail and then end off miles and miles away, because if you zigzag through the mountains on a trail, it's easy to get turned around. So we always stop and say, you need some help? And they go, yeah. We didn't know which way, you know, it is. So we take them back and find their car for them. But yeah, the western mountains to me are more wild than this. These mountains here, because you know they're beautiful, all right. People want to move there. A lot of people from Texas move up here for a summer home or a weekend home. So there's a lot of homes up there. There's some areas where you can't build homes. It's just wild areas. But the people really like it living up there. If I had the money, I might have a home up there too. It's so nice and cool in the summer, so pretty. But anyway, the western mountains, they got a lot of rocks. They're the Continental Divide. You know, they're different. And we've been over there many times camping, driving around, picnicking, and just we see, because we don't have enough time to stay over there because we got to drive all the way back here. We just really like it over there. But I just want to tell you about this hiker and his dog. And there's a Membrace Valley over there, and it's got water in it. I would probably think that is a river, but To me, it's a creek, but sometimes it gets, pretty shallow, and people use that water for irrigation. On that Membrace Valley, there's a lot of orchards, and they use that water up. But at one time, the Membrace Apache, they lived there, and they had all that river, all that area, and it's like about any place in New Mexico. You got some desert mountains, and but if you have a river in it, then the river is a different climate. You got big trees, oak, you got cottonwood, willows. The river just makes it so much better. Deer, they got javelinas over there, and they got them up here in the mountains, but they don't have javelinas down here. It's too dry. And the javelinas, they stay close to the water. But that's a different microclimate when you have a creek. And back when the Indians lived there, they had that whole range to themselves, all that water, all the food. It's real pretty, the Membrace Valley. And there's people living over there because, of the water. But, and that's where all the wolf population is growing. But now you got the wolves. But anyway, it's real pretty over there. I just want to tell you about that man that was, lost with his dog. I wish they had an update about it. And I wish there was a happy ending where somebody found the dog. People put out traps because when that reward went up, everybody was setting out dog traps, putting like dog food in there. Nobody caught. I think it just went on. I don't think it stayed around there. I think it was looking for that man, and I bet you he followed that man out because all the traps they set, they never did catch that dog. And then nobody. At first, people would say, "Yeah, we seen it." But I don't know if it was the right dog or not, but I think he just went to go find that man and left that area. Because I think, and I'm not sure, but I think it was $1,000 reward. So everybody was sitting out dog traps. I think if that dog hit the highway, just two-lane highway, if it went either direction, it was going to have water. That river, Membrace River, you could follow it either way. And if he was following the scent of that truck, he would probably went south, and he could follow that river for miles. And eventually he probably would lose the scent of that truck. He'd be going down to that creek all the time getting water. But after a certain point, all that water just goes into the ground, and he wouldn't be with water, so he'd be looking other places for water, and he might be going around somebody's house looking for water or food, and it's a possible chance somebody took him in. I know, just like I know when Sonny got here, he was wanting water, because everything out in the desert wants water, if you come from the desert. So that dog would be looking for water and probably food. So somebody could have took him in and didn't know the story about the man. If he traveled for miles and miles down that road, other people wouldn't pay attention to what was going on in that area, and probably took him in. So I hope that's what happened. They took the dog in. But I just want to tell you that story. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Bye.